Hey Sean.
Hey!
What are we doing today?
Today, we're getting in our essentials bag.
My name is Sean Kennedy, and I am the fucking man. Today, we're going to be going over the use and modification of the Reputer personal computer, also known as the Matsucom on-hand MC120UG wearable computer. It comes in a box which you purchase from Server. The actual item itself costs about $120. When you get it from the box, it comes as follows. Outside of the box, you will get your charger, which is actually not a charger. It is going to be for your link up with your PC. This is the actual personal computer itself. It comes with a handy dandy polymer container, which holds multiple batteries. It ships with batteries inside of the case, and also comes with batteries inside of here. For $120, it's quite easily met. We also have in here your manuals which go with and associated software to be installed on your personal computer. Once you receive the item, first thing you need to do before you do anything else is you've got to get rid of the strap that comes with it. The strap that comes with it is garbage and dangerous. The best way to do that, you take your strap, take a pin. Take the pin, you insert it in a small hole in front of the strap here, as such. Pin goes inside the hole. You will feel a hard space. That is the pin that holds the watch strap on. Press down, give it a fiddle. Don't come aboard it too hard because this thing is kind of, I mean, it is plastic. Parts of this item are made in Japan and not in Taiwan. That becomes very apparent when you're actually looking at it because it seems a lot more solid to me. Get one piece off, put it down. Don't worry about taking the parts out yet. You'll get to that. Second piece, put it in. Use your fingernail as a hammer, otherwise you stand a risk a chance of hurting yourself. There we go. Those go in. Okay, next thing we do is we want to extract these little pins. Pull the pin in, pull the pin out. Thing moves out on one. Leave the other one in there for now. We'll get to that in a second. Now you want to do this on a blanket or something where you can make sure you're not going to lose it, because if you let this go, this is where it gets a little tricky. You've got to take this, close this in here, put one in there, and then you got to kind of nickel and dime with this. Now you could use a screwdriver or your fingernail. I don't know how much you can get, but you got to kind of force that back in. Now if you let it go, it'll pop out and the spring will fire it off, so you got to keep it down on a down angle, otherwise it'll take off on you. You'll never see it again. Get this, that in there. One side, make sure, give it a little wiggle, make sure it's pretty solid. Take your second piece, pop it out. Now you could either throw away that personal strap, that's not the WOG thing to do. The WOG thing to do would be to take this personal strap, return this strap back to the box, because you don't know what's going to happen with your kit. You may damage your watch strap. This gets attached to your keychain. Keychain comes out, throw it on. Now you've got your data with you at all times. Turn that to your pocket. You then acquire yourself a watch strap that has a cover over top. Military watch straps have a cover where it covers over the face of the watch strap. The problem with the Reputer with the watch strap they issue you is it leaves this massive face open for scratching. If you're doing anything, working around concrete on the street, this watch face will get scratched. So you want to make sure you protect that. Best way to protect that is to get one of these military watch covers. The way they install on this particular one, normally you have to run it through a little loop or whatever. This one here is all Velcro. Put it through. Now you want to make sure, because there's an IR module on this, and that IR module has got to be pointing out so that if you're holding it on your wrist, you can make sure it's pointing away from you. Don't put it on backwards because that would be embarrassing. Okay, after you have the unit installed inside your watch strap, you want to make sure you sanitize your watch strap. Close it up, make sure that everything fits before you begin modifying the watch strap. Put the watch strap on your wrist, take it, wrap it down. Take a look. You'll see now that the face of the Reputer is actually covered and it's safe. You got your timings, no problem, see it, lock it back down, it's good. This way, if you're moving, running around, doing whatever, you happen to get into a confrontation or an altercation of some type, you're not going to wind up damaging your watch. The end of your hand is basically your tool to the universe, okay? So whatever is attached to your wrist is going to be subjected to some serious wear and tear. The importance of a watch and why you need to carry one should be obvious, but I'll touch on it very briefly. The only thing we have as free people is control of our own time. When people take away the control of your own time, you are no longer free. At that point, you are a prisoner. Prisoners are taken, they are told what they do, they do not choose what they do. This is the essence of freedom. Now, if you are a free man and you have a watch, there is nothing you cannot accomplish by managing your own time to accomplish goals which you set in your own parameters. It is for this that a man should be judged by his watch and the gadgets that he uses and is affiliated with that will enable him to complete his goals. The Reputer is by default right now at the cost-effective margin I'm able to maintain the best watch you can purchase. As well, this particular watch strap is made by Mil-Spec. It was a $6 watch strap. I'm into this watch here for about $135. Yet what I have is a personal computer that fits on my wrist that enables me to track all of my scheduling, all of my time, all of my expenses, and let me live how I choose. Now, you may not wish to have the advertising of the Mil-Spec brand on there. You have purchased this item, therefore you can modify it as you see fit. You see that it fits your arm well? Great. Now we're going to sanitize the Mil-Spec watch strap. Sanitize any equipment. You want to take and remove all labels and identifying marks. The military started this tradition for recon operatives who are working overseas and in regions where if they were caught, they wanted to deny all country of origin. You remove all labels. The process was known as sanitizing. Therefore, they cannot get information about what base you came from, who you're working with, who you're working for. Threads on Cordura are your enemy. So what you need to do, you got to be careful because it's right on the edge of Velcro here. So you want to protect the Velcro as much as you can, but you got to burn that. If you leave frayed threads out, frayed threads will wear away and can eventually damage things. Now this is a label, so it's not so bad. But just to demonstrate, to show this, you take yourself your lighter, which you must always have as a WOG, turn it on, flame-proof. The butane ones, just burn that right in like that. Easy fix. Now you've got a melted seal, perfect, will not fray. You won't have those annoying threads kicking around, and now you have the sanitized watch strap. The uses and deployment of the Reputer personal computer are far too complex to cover in this short video. Do a search through server using any variety of search engine. You will be able to find all the data you need. As well, there are many free programs which enable you to utilize already off-the-shelf software to control your own time and your life. Also, it would be useful if WOGs could come up with some piece of coding software to be entailed for our usage. That would be fine, but at this time of this recording, it does not exist. After you've determined that your Reputer personal computer fits you, you can now interface it with the rest of your life. Docking station for the Reputer personal computer is designed to work with any laptop. I'm going to be using an older laptop, which I acquired for $600 used. So you pop open your back. You can either choose to screw it in or not screw it in. I actually prefer to leave them unscrewed. This way, if this becomes bumped, it has a greater chance of just coming off versus breaking your PC. So you want to actually keep the screws undone. That's my own personal viewpoint. You can go from there. Now with the new watch strap, in order to install it onto the docking station, it goes underneath the watch strap. So this goes up, comes through and down. This little button here pops up and the 3 pins, that's your docking port right there. Your 3 pins come in. You want to make sure you keep these clean. If these become dirty, you use a pencil eraser to clean them. Okay, don't be using any solvents, don't put any liquids on this. Okay, you also want to be aware, the cover will provide you with additional moisture protection, but to provide additional still, you may wish to use some sort of a moisture agent on the outside like a Scotch Guard or Nick Wax or any of the brand names out there designed to make your equipment waterproof. Now from here, it's a relatively simple matter. That is all it is to install. Once you have that into your docking station, you install the software that comes with and you are able to work with your unit on the fly. Furthermore, if you were to just keep your disk with you and you didn't happen to have the laptop, it's not a problem because all the data is completely stored on the Reputer. This is a standalone entity. It is important you know that. It is hard to do data entry on its own. The laptop exists purely for data entry, but once you have configuration, you'd be able to run any kind of operation you want with all the technical know-how you need, purely from this wrist-top device. This concludes my lecture regarding the Reputer personal computer. My name is Sean Kennedy, and I am the fucking man.
Hey Sean, what do you think about cops?
Police are not your enemy. The truth of the matter is that most police officers begin their day much like every other person, trying to get to the end of it in one piece. Police officers are generally good people. They didn't become cops because they wanted to be dicks. They became cops because they wanted to help people, because they believe in society. What do you think about cops? General cops, good, bad, should WOGs be, how should WOGs deal with cops? WOGs are doing stuff, cops come up, start talking to WOGs, ask WOGs to leave even though they have no right to ask the WOGs to leave. What do you think of that whole thing? Like, how do you think, are the cops good, are they bad, are they beneficial, are they a tool of the core political state? What do you think of cops?
They do it because that's
their job.
Yeah.
So it's not personal. You don't think cops fuck with you.
I think cops are ignorant, mercenary, Nazi thugs, and anyone who straps on a gun in the morning and goes to work really isn't a decent person if they're trying to support their family, making a living, ruining decent people's lives.
That's awesome. That's rad. That's the fucking best. Anything else? Tell me more why you hate cops.
I look like the kind of person that would be suspicious.
Right.
Because I'm different. They would come and ask me questions.
Right.
Assume that I'm doing something wrong because of the way I look or act.
Right.
What I think about cops is basically, from my standpoint anyway, is
people who become cops because they want to make a difference, right?
Okay.
But somewhere along the line, I think that changes. Right?
What do you think about cops?
I think cops, it depends on the individual cop. From my
Right.
personal experience,
Right.
I find that, same as he said, they get into it because they want to make a difference in things.
Right.
I think they do what they can, but the way the system runs it tends to wear them down. People, they get into it, I want to help this, I want to help this. Well, you can't do that. You have to fill in these forms first. You have to do this, 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 this. Oh, look at that person. Why didn't you question them? Because they look like Lenny.
Right.
That sort of stuff.
So they're making judgments based upon observation.
Yeah, I think-
and you don't like those observations because you think it's an educational issue with the cops. Because just because someone's wearing a toque or got an eye ring or wearing a spiked collar doesn't mean they're evil.
Exactly.
Right.
Why should I be walking up the street with one of my friends who has dreadlocks? Cop stalks him, checks if he has a weapon or any weed or anything. I don't know. Lets me keep on walking.
Right.
If a police officer asks a WOG to do anything, I highly recommend you do whatever the police ask. If you are protesting and the police ask you to disperse, I would disperse. Do not get into combat in any way, verbal, otherwise, with police. These people put their lives on the line every day for you, believe it or not. They don't want to have corporate masters. They want to actually save the day.
Okay, what cops are is they are soldiers. They are the foot soldier of the core political state. Of whatever power is in function, they are where the metal meets the meat. That is the cop. He is the frontline soldier of the governing body in power. If we think that the governing body in power is a bunch of Nazi thugs, then sure as shit, the cops are going to be enforcing Nazi thug policy. What I think cops are is I believe that nobody gets up in the morning, wrings their hands, and thinks about stomping on babies. Even fucking Hitler didn't do that. He honestly thought he was doing something good. He was wrong, but he thought he was doing something good. Okay? Osama bin Laden thinks he did something good. He's crazier than a shithouse rat, but he thinks he did something good. So I don't think anyone gets up in the morning and decides to be an evil thug. I think what it is that they get twisted somehow. People get twisted. No one ever really desires to do wrong. I think they get fucked up in some way. So I think what happens with a lot of these cops, they started with the models of maybe they look at a lot of the movies, how our cops portrayed in movies. They're always, now they're getting more bad boy and badass-ish in there. Break the rules and who cares, and that's what cops are. And then this kind of emulates because, let's be real, cops really have no power. I mean, if you've ever, all you got to do is stand outside a nightclub and watch the cops come out and watch all the drunks shitting all over these cops, And there's no question that, like, I've seen them, and you stand there and you go, if I was that cop, I would have shot that motherfucker. Okay, like, I'd go, fucking seriously. Oh my God, I don't know how they do it, really. They have way more tolerance than I do. But now old cops are different because you can always tell an old cop because they kind of got that I don't give a fuck, but their staring eyes are like real. They don't blink a whole lot. I've noticed that with older cops. Next time you talk to an older cop, check how many times they blink. You're like, blink, you fucking weirdo. But yeah, no, they don't blink a lot. And the reason why is because these people, every day, now you got to understand, their exposure to society for 12 hours a day at least, is high. I am responding to the biggest bunch of scum fucks the world has ever seen.
Police are good people. Further to this, if you show police respect, you are winning the hearts and minds of the foot soldier of the core political state. Once police begin to realize that we are, in fact, the salvation of society and not the degradation of that same thing, we got it made.
My name is Sean Kennedy, and I am the fucking man, and today we'll be covering the Essentials bag. This is not an AWOL bag, as may be confused, but in fact it is an Essentials bag. The Essentials bag is your first line piece of gear. This is, in all honesty, it's the piece of kit that you keep that's the bag. When you don't have your gear that's on your belt, this is always what's with you. Okay, you got your watch. We've already covered that. We've covered getting yourself dressed to a level where at least you're functional. You got your keys with you. You're good to go now. You have to get ready to go on and almost go outside yet. We're almost ready to get outside, but not quite yet. We got to make sure we got our Essentials bag, which covers everything you're going to need in the modern world. Now, Essentials bags were originally very common. Men would carry these bags with them at all times, and then somehow, through government subversion or perhaps alien implants, we've come to the conclusion that carrying a bag with you is somehow unmanly. They're called man purses, European daytimers, a bitch bag, things of this nature. This is just simply not true. You can carry more gear efficiently. As a matter of fact, in the military, you usually use it to carry gas masks and that kind of equipment. Fortunately, I live in a hemisphere which I do not need to do that just as of yet, but if so, it's a small modification to add a gas carrier to this system. So we'll start off with the the actual bag itself. Depending on personal preference, there's 2 colors I would recommend. The first color is black. These are for your winter months, fall and winter. I would go with a black bag, and then during the summer months, I would go with a tan or cream colored bag. The company who makes both of these bags is called Maxpedition. I was very impressed with the quality of gear and for the price of the gear. It is not as a high quality item as say like Eagle Industries or something like that, but it'll definitely get you through the day. You can go with a larger bag, which I has opted for because I can pull it off because I'm a big guy, or you can go with a smaller bag. Now this is a bag that my wife uses, okay, and then the advantage of a bag like this is you can carry it with you. It's not a problem, very inconspicuous, you know, you're not going to notice much. And their tag luckily is subdued enough that it doesn't really stand out, like it's not going to get you shot. You want to keep this strap regulated to a size. I'm putting this on from this point. This strap should be as long as you are wide around the middle with this particular bag, okay? These are the VersiPack line, by the way. That's a Fat Boy VersiPack, and this is their standard leg strap size, okay? This one here, when you put it on, you would think you'd want to put it on like this, but you can either wear it over top with the gear on top like this, but you have a little bit up and down play when you do that. Or, what I do is I run it underneath your essential line gear, so the belt should actually slide up and underneath, as such. Pop it up and get the belt up cinched tight, so that way you've got upward and downward force. And this hooks around the side. Now, if you're really rocking and rolling, and you don't have to carry much gear, that comes with this leg strap, which can be readily deployed without too much problem whatsoever. Cuts in, over top, closes down, and this is just, you know, functionality of gear. Nothing really super special here. This comes with the whole thing. That stays on your bag. Now from here, that's going nowhere. You could get into a fist fight with this thing on. It wouldn't go anywhere. If you happen to have first aid equipment or stuff like that, this would be an ideal bag for something like that, but I think it's perfect for just everyday use and everyday wear. The one flaw is it doesn't carry enough stuff. That's the reason why I didn't go with it. Now, my wife is of this crazy opinion, and she thinks that perhaps I'm a little, concerned. Well, she might say paranoid about, you know, the state of the world and how everything's going and stuff. I just think she's unaware. However, moving up, we get to what they call the Fat Boy VersiPack. Now this one's fully configured, and we're going to be going over this hot and fast. This one, when you configure the strap, you get it out, it's pretty solid. It's got the cool wick. I got a little bit of fray here. Where is the fray? I had some fray, I swear to God. I better find her. I'm dead. Right there. That seam popped on me, so boys, your seams are popping down there. But that's only when I machine wash today, so I wouldn't machine wash that. This goes over top, comes with a handy dandy strap, sits on loop, sits as so. You want this strap long enough so that it goes down just past your waist. So if you're wearing your bomber jacket and you zip it up, this is on the outside, so you can still get at it. The biggest feature with this particular device is if you sit in a car or you sit down, you can simply move the bag over, sit in your vehicle, and you have access to all of your equipment while driving. That's magic, especially if you're in and out of your vehicle a whole lot, okay? So I prefer this design at that strap length. Going through the bag, top to bottom. First things first, comes with a key ring holder. I use this to carry what I've just received. I haven't had a chance to get it totally configured yet. That's why I'm not wearing them on this set, but a set of ESS, eye safety systems, ICE 2.4 glasses. Now this unit here comes with, like right out of the box, now you must understand the price tag on optics. These glasses now have become like the crack cocaine of our culture, and no one even notices. How is it possible that a set of frames that look like this, that really do nothing? I mean, what does it do? It holds these little glass pieces here, but these were like $140. That's Canadian. You know, that's insane. How can this possibly be $140? There's not $140 worth of technology in this. That price is completely out of whack. What do? You need the glasses. Yeah, but that's my point. That's a completely unethical thing to do. So when we get into eyewear, I went fuck the industry. What I think everybody should do is they should skip to these, because this whole unit cost me $35 American. This is what you get for $35 American. You get this handy dandy carrying case that is belt mountable or Fast-X onto whatever webbing you got. This is the glasses system. Now this is separate. This is if it's prescription. This costs you a whole extra $24 to get this. $24 more and you get your glasses carrier. So this is your total solution for sunglasses and eyeglasses. I have the yellow lenses on, which we'll discuss momentarily, but carried with you for the bright sunny days, you've got extra polarized shields, ship with, no extra cost. And as well, when you're working in the computer at night, you've got the clear see-through so you can get around inside your own house. Okay, now, your default lens in any optics wear should be yellow. If you have a set of glasses and you have a chance of whether or not to put a yellow tint on these, you should have a yellow tint. The reason for this is as follows. Multinational corporations have spent, I'm not kidding here, billions of dollars to design advertising which operates on your optic nerve in your mind, okay? It basically takes the images that you see, the color coding and everything, and has to keep your attention. They've refined it to a science of advertising, communicating the message to you to get the mind share. One of the ways that you can hack anything, you've got to be able to talk to it. And one of the weapons you have to work like a firewall of getting their advertising into your brain is you change the color spectrum. You do a color shift of the color spectrum. You still see everything, but the colors are slightly off. Therefore, their billions of dollars of advertising is defeated by a $35 pair of glasses. This comes with the neck strap as well, by the way. That's all right out of the bag. Now, this unit here, everything is still green. I have a sharper, crisper detail, and especially on cloudy days and at night, it brings things up. You're thinking, well, you're going to be blind. No, because the light reduction is only 3%. I probably have the same light reduction as going through these glasses. So it's an amazing method of doing this. Now, if you combine this at later times, we'll be getting into personal music displays, okay, like how you want to isolate yourself so that you're not completely bombarded by mind control. You combine this with the headphones and your headset of your music of choice, you're immune to advertising. People say, oh, you're crazy. Yeah, perhaps, but I'm not wrong. So when you switch to a yellow shift lens, it makes a statement about you as a person, I think, walking around with yellow lenses. I think it says that you're someone who makes his choices, you know? He makes his own choices. If you walk around with something like that, well, not really, Sean, now they're all just doing what you say and stuff. No. If you walk around with these for a couple of days, you'll see what I mean. Before you buy them, go rent a movie, go acquire a film, They Live. Yeah, check that out. Anyway, okay, moving into the bag itself, okay, at the top of the bag, you have a mounting here. This is where you mount your musical device, okay? It should have a belt clip. It's got two smallers here, but this is where the musical device would go. But I don't know enough about electronics to recommend anything right now, so I'm not recommending anything right now. If I don't have an informed decision, I'm not going to pass that on to you. I'm not going to make some shit up. When you're out in the wilderness, I mean not indoors, it will rain, elements will affect you. You should always carry a hat. Boonie hats are the best kind of hat in the world, period. End of statement. That is it. A boonie hat, you can run wire around the fringe, so that'll help you in the rainy season, but in the summer months, I like to keep the hat floppy, provides shade, and when you have this hat, you get complete coverage. If it did start to rain, you'd be surprised the difference it is to stand in the rain with a boonie hat on. It feels like you're under an umbrella. Outstanding hats, very cheap, $7. Fold up nice and small, just throw it inside this main compartment here, which runs down the whole inside of the bag. In it goes. Do it up, that's it. Moving up into here, I keep my hands-free system in here for my phone, okay? Moving across the top, up here, we've got a side pouch. You put whatever you like in here, pens on either side. I don't like keeping pens on the outside, so what I do is I keep my herbs, the doctor Chinese guy gave me, I keep them in there, and I have to take that 4 times a day for these stupid herbs. Anyway, then we got on the side here, this is actually a pistol mag, which I took a grenade pin and ran a grenade pin through there. It does not come with this pin on it. You could use a key ring pin, whatever. You hook your finger in there, bang, up she comes. Keep your cell phone in there. Now, moving on to the inside here, immediately you'll get at your wallet. Wallet is an essential piece of gear because we are living in a time now where everyone has papers, and if you don't have your papers with you, you're subject to immediate imprisonment and eventually death. So it's very, very important that you keep your papers. I went with a company called Spec Ops. They make a wallet called the THE wallet. What this THE wallet, the wallet is it's designed for field use for people who go do a lot of traveling overseas. You got a lot of space in there for your items. Comes with these 2 divots and their patented shark bite enclosure, which what that does is I just ran some paracord through it. So if you're ever in a really bad situation where you got to show your ID cards before you scan into high school, you just put it all right in there and you'll be able to get through the paperwork no problem. As well, this wears a little bit over time, so you can't get in crap for hiding your photograph, your photo ID. I'm wearing it around my neck, yeah, but you can't see it. See what I mean? A little bit of bait and switch there. You can throw a grenade pin through this one here, or you can attach a watch here, like a one-sided watch if you want to be able to look down and see it if you wear it around your neck a lot. It's not really popular out in society though. They get a little bit freaked out when people start walking around with the neck ID tags. That hasn't come out yet, but you'll be seeing that soon in high schools and whatnot if they're not already doing it. You've got, driver's license, all the rest of it. Now, a few of the neat features in this wallet is that on this top pocket here, no, it's right here, they have a passport case right here. This whole thing is designed to take a North American passport. So you can keep your passport with you at all times, which means that any moment you have to drop and run, at least you've got your essentials bag, and you've got an extended size wallet case for European bills, and a secret compartment here for other documents and papers. Outstanding wallet. Very, very pleased. All heavy Cordura. I've had mine for about 6 months worth of wear. I believe this is the best wallet available in the world today. Moving into the rest of the bag. If you don't want to keep it there, keep it long enough, go around your neck, wraps around once, works like a grenade pin, throw it in your bag. It sits, the Spec Ops wallet sits perfectly in this pouch. I've got this bag pretty full. Moving into the inside pocket, this is a soap dish. Inside the soap dish, I have coffee beans. This way, you've always got a quick way to suppress your appetite so you're not subjected to the foods and toxins they're putting in your food every day. You should always pack your own food. Do not buy food anywhere else unless you are absolutely sure where it comes from. Also in here, spare set of glasses. These are Canadian Forces gas mask glasses, so in case anything were to go wrong, I've got an extra set prescription. You can buy these at most Army surplus stores. You can get custom ground lenses for them. Always have a spare set of optics if you're nearly blind. They take away your eyes. You are blind, and what you cannot see, you cannot fight. Also in here, I have something which I read about in a National Geographic when they unearthed the lost city of Ubar. Apparently, amongst their culture, they were quite into sacred herbs, and in that, they used a substance called Navras during meditation. I enjoy meditation. It's great to do during Qigong exercises, things of that nature. So to enhance that point, I use this Navras. It is comprised primarily of grapeseed oil and equal parts frankincense, champa, lang lang, and eucalyptus. The scent is very distinctive, and it smells, well, kind of like sacred sex. Very, very nice stuff. Makes a fabulous massage oil. And it will cover the scent of anything you would have on your breath should you be breathalyzed. It'll dominate dominate most machines because it is all natural. They will not be able to distinguish between what is your breath and what is something else because there's no synthetic vapor in it. Moving into the main compartment of the bag, we have the field message pad. The field message pad is made by Canadian Peacekeeper as well as Drop Zone and a few others. You can find this on the internet. You do a search for field message pad. These pads can be purchased. They're independent. They go inside. This is purely a notepad. That is the whole function of it. Your pens, pencils, whatnot remain on the outside. I would recommend a glue stick, a highlighter, black, red, green, and blue pen. The inside you would keep photographs. You have a Velcro patch here which comes for this ID tag. You can throw pictures of loved ones, puppies, mammalian quadrupeds, whatever you want. You can put it all in there. On the inside, I always keep a stainless steel business card case. It's very, very convincing. Make up business cards with a false occupation on them. It's interesting when they search you and find business cards that you never gave them that is for your own private use. When you use the FMP, every time you take a page, you fold it adjacently. If I were to use this page, I would fold it thusly, over, across, and down. Line it up as best you can, and up, or in the other way, on the next page, you would go in the opposite direction. The reason for this is, if you need an idea or you see something, you have to write it down. You would very rapidly grab your FMP, take out your pen, open up your FMP, throw open the waterproofing sides, put your finger to the middle, down, up, and in. You are on a fresh page, begin writing, okay? We have creativity like no other generation known, yet we choose to enslave it and deny ourselves the true essence of our being, which is to create art. It's disgusting. And the field message pad is the best way, very, very primal, very, very quick and easy, that gets you to get your ideas down on paper. Highly recommend them, the evolution of the notebook. In the back, we have a calendar. This is a pocket minder calendar. It doesn't matter who makes it. Any pocket calendar gives you a monthly layout, so you see what time, seasons, holy days, whatnot, if you're doing any serious planning. This sits in the main compartment. Also in the main compartment, there's a lot of space here. This is a drawstring, comes out. You can put whatever else you like in there. One of the things I recommend you carry is extra Canadian Forces boot bands. The elastics with little hooks on them. 1,000,000,001 uses. I love the Canadian Forces boot band. On to the side, we have the most important thing to carry with you at all times. This is a global positioning system. This particular one is made by Garmin. I recommend everyone carry with them at all times, otherwise you will lose your case and bearing. If you don't believe that that is possible, wait for the next time it snows. Everything changes, especially if there's a color shift. If there's a major cataclysmic event, smoke, cloud cover, whatever, you couldn't get around if you couldn't see very clearly, so your visibility might be limited by some natural event or fog or gunfire or whatever. If a major landscape changes, you wouldn't recognize. I mean, we had 2 buildings fall down in New York and no one said they recognized the place anymore. It's very, very dangerous. You can lose your bearings very easily, so I highly recommend a GPS, which also eliminates you off of the grid of the normal tracking system. It's hard to describe where someone is if they're not at an address. If you're not at an address, you are off the map. If you think about that, it makes sense. If you're not at an address, you are off the map and hard for them to locate. So I recommend everyone go to a global positioning system. As well, this bag has grenade pin in the top just for easy access. You can pull it out in time of crisis. Now, what I would recommend also is if you don't want to use a cell phone and you don't want to use a GPS together, there's a unit made, which I don't possess yet, called a Rhino. Very, very high-speed piece of equipment. It crosses a gigahertz radio with a global positioning system. It does have encryption capabilities, I believe. It enables you to track each other in a party. So if you have a team of 6 wogs and you're all half a mile apart, you'll be able to see the exact location of that man. As well, you could give something like that to your spouse on low power in the morning. It'll stay with her all day and you could actually look at your walkie-talkie and make sure that your loved one is still safe and fine. This eliminates the need for anyone else, any company, to sell you information about GPS systems, and you can now privatize that. No one needs to know where your children are, but you do. That concludes my lecture concerning the essentials bag, which all wogs should have with them at all times. You should not be outside of your house without this bag. If it's inside your house, it should be at steady access, because this is what you need on a ground level to survive. Varying amounts of cash, but as long as you've got this bag, you can survive. And most people have nothing. You have nothing. There's no way they can carry on with their lives. Some people augment this bag. Rather than the coffee beans inside that soap dish, some people put a survival kit. A couple of matches, heaters, flares, that kind of thing. This is not an AWOL bag. Don't get your gear messed up. You want to get this is in fact too big, because I don't need the notepad in there. If I didn't have the notepad, I could have went for a leg mount option. So I'd actually recommend that over this. Smaller, tie it down to your body. It makes a lot more sense. My name is Sean Kennedy, and I am the fucking man. Later on in the series here, we're going to be talking a little bit more about weapons. But right now, let's talk a little bit more about the ultimate weapon, which is communication and how it affects us. Now, you've got to bear in mind that advertising employs communication as a weapon to make you what? What is advertising's function? What is it? Advertising's function is to fulfill the primary role of the sale. Before a sale must be completed, because a sale is where revenue is generated. Before a sale can be completed, you must generate this item. That item is desire. If no one desires your product, goods, service, what have you, if no one desires them, you cannot make money. So you employ advertising agencies to originally educate the public as to their required need due to safety concerns, and, you know, the general sort of role of the ennobling journalist would, by default, advertise the news. This is what advertising was originally, and then it became this insidious monster which uses psychological warfare techniques developed by the CIA to mind fuck the nation. So it appears to me that the moment you control what it is that you want, what your actual wants are, the moment you have control of that, by default, because you control your wants, you control your purchases, and because of that, your money will increase. You see what I mean? People are always worried about money. We always want more money, right? Well, what if the trick? Wait a minute. I'm bringing in a lot of money. I mean, I can't exist in this society without making money unless I'm dependent upon someone else. And believe me, that dependent wants me to get making money on my own. So what I have to do is I have to get a job that makes X amount of dollars. Maybe it's a low-income job, what have you. You know, supposing you're fortunate enough to live in an area of the country where you can get a low-paying job and actually find a place to live. You can still pull it off in a lot of Canada. If you were to take that income and control your wants, I don't need a television, so I don't need any of the big screen televisions because I don't watch television. What about movies? I got a laptop. See what I mean? Eventually, all these, you know, you have to have this to be successful, and you have to have that, and you've got to adopt this persona of the urban, buppy, yuppie, freaky, punky, goth kid thing, wog. Because you have to adopt that persona, you have certain wants. Now, I'm guilty of this too, because I've got all this, you know, army kit and that, but you'll notice throughout the whole series, everything that I've exponed, you know, it never had a real brand name to it that I was like, this, above all others, you know, I will always be a Royal Robbins man. No, that's not the case. It's just simply because their product was good. Saw, they used to make an amazing product. They changed their product line. No, I no longer like that product. You're allowed to change your mind. Incidentally, that's what I love about these kind of things where, you know, they have these political candidates and they bring them up. See, George Bush, he shit his pants. When he was, you know, just born, he shit his pants on a regular, you know, that's the kind of stuff they're dragging out of this guy's past. You know, maybe there's a chance that some of these political leaders aren't homicidal, genocidal fucks. Maybe if we actually give these motherfuckers a chance, you know, they won't kill us all. You know, I don't know if I want to bet on it. You know, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. But it's the wants on a personal level, what you want right now, that controls, I want a coffee, so you go pay the $4. If you don't want the coffee, then you don't pay the $4. You can still be happy, you can still have a life, you just don't need as many wants. I put it to you, actually, that if you have fewer wants, obviously you'd be happy, right? Well, if I had everything I'd want, I'd be happy. Well, that's just it. If you had everything you'd want, you'd be happy. So if you can't get everything you want, decrease your wants. Mind hack, right? Makes sense. People go, that's fucking the most ludicrous shit I've ever heard in my life, Sean. That doesn't even make sense. You can't apply that. That's like some self-help bullshit. No, because you can create a personal formula once you discover what you want, okay? And there's quite a number of hypnotherapists who would eliminate you of basic wants that are not needs. Any one of them. You go drop them off, let's say, listen, I don't want this, and this. Can you jack this out of my head for me? Nice. Do it. Try it. Give it a shot. It should cost you about $100. What the fuck? I'm not making any money from it. Worked for me, you know? So if you can control your wants, your cash flow increases. Mind you, you know, the corporations will lose their mind because eventually, you know, they no one's spending any money, and then the turmoil of all this, you know, it leads to a recession. So before the money you save, incidentally, you make money, right? And people go, you can't, you know, do all this kind of stuff, Sean, because, you know, there's interest. Okay, whoa, I make money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this money and get it as money, which is that paper stuff, and I'm going to keep it. That's what I'm going to do, because I really don't have any faith in our, you know, we all honestly can't see this going on for another 25 years. Let's be real. So, and if it is, baby, I don't think I want to be involved in this kind of reality, you know. But I think that if you were to take money out of the bank, just take it out of the bank, keep it, put it in a safe, get yourself a nice safe, get a hidden safe, best, you know, keep it there. Don't give the banks your money, because when you give the bank your money, which is this paper stuff, that's really what it's all about, is the money. When you give them this, they give you a piece of paper with a number on it, and this is not money. They have your money. This is a piece of paper with some numbers on it. Well, they're legally, no, they don't have, you don't have, where's your money? I haven't, no, where's the money? I want to touch your money. I can't touch it. The bank has it. So the bank has your money. Right. So what do they do with your money? Well, they pay, and no, the bank makes money with your money. That's what they do. Okay. But anyway, once you take your money out of the banks and you start making more money, eventually, if enough people did this, let's say this, for some asinine reason, became, you know, a credo. A lot of people decided they wanted to be wogs, and you pass this around and people learned about it. What would eventually happen is that because so many people took all their monies out of the banks, the economy would crumble, everything would collapse. collapse, and you'd bring about the end of society. Even an economist would probably agree with me on that. If everyone just took their money out of the bank. Just go take your money out of the bank. Go take it out. Keep it. It's yours. Probably worked for it, and if you didn't, shame on you. But, to some level. So if we can keep a hold of our money as the actual item, what does it do? How well does this do this? Money, nothing beats it. If you can hang on to your money and control your wants, we can bring about the end of all that we see evil in society. Just like that. Just like that. It's that easy. Lick. And believe you me, when you think about how many billions of dollars the companies spend in advertising, check it out. Do some research. Go see what they spend in advertising dollars. My God, the money. Jesus. And they spend that kind of money. They know that money's covered in blood, And they know that those dollars are hard earned. The companies that pay those advertising companies, oh yeah, they know. But they'll keep paying that because they know how important advertising is. Because it has to generate desire. No television leads to a greatly reduced amount of commercials in your life. I don't watch a lot of television. Great. Why don't you just take the goddamn television out of your house? Just try it. Just unplug it physically, pick it up, take it out of your house. Get the TVs out of your house. Get them out. Live like that for a week. Try it. Read. Give it a shot. Start with comic books. People, once they determine that you have wants, will be able to make money with any of your wants. So the concept of controlling your wants is a little bit more complicated than I may make it appear. Because, we have wants and we have interests, right? We want to learn about, we want to make the world a better place. Well, to do that, we think we will have a formulated belief that either through religion or self-sacrifice or through science or whatever, we will be able to make a difference to make the world a better place. This is what we believe. So that is what we want. Therefore, we try to communicate that with others so that they can be like-minded and function in the same capacity. That's the general idea. But, it's hard. It's very, very difficult, and it's not easy because these sons of bitches put so much money into that advertising. Go take a look at Tokyo. There's an advertising saturated city. It's everywhere. Now it's showing up. You can't even get a bag anymore that doesn't have a logo on it. And if it is a bag without a logo on it in Canada, it came from the liquor store. That's my answer. A lot of people point out, problems, how our society's ultra fucked, which it is. So my answer is control your wants and take your money out of the bank.
So you say you gotta know why the world goes around, and you can't find the truth in the things you found, and you're scared shitless cause evil abounds. Come join us. Well, I heard you were looking for a place to fit in,